Good afternoon, Rudin and Yuche. It's really a pleasant thing that you both went to Anglo-Chinese Independent to teach. And once again, on behalf of Singapore Raffles, we're actually proud of you because this is the first time we have students going to a government school. The reason why, as a supervisor, I'm running this, conducting this teaching, what we call this teacher reflection, is also because, not so much as a supervisor here, but because I'm also the musical advisor to the school. For many years I've been teaching the orchestra, and then when I stepped down I became the advisor. So I do many things for the school. In fact, bringing Chin Yuting there to do a Chinese orchestral masterclass with the students. So the school has a very good impression of our students, and so you are the next. So having taught in ACSI, bel canto and music and emotions, I would just like to ask you some questions, and this would go down as your part 2 of your artifact, meaning that you will now run a teacher reflection, reflecting from what you have taught and what you have learned, and that's a very good thing to actually do. So my first question actually I would like to ask you is, what preparation did you take in creating and delivering your teaching artifact? Can we have you share to answer that question first? Once again, what preparation did you take in creating and delivering your teaching artifact?
I first refined my 20-week teaching brief from the A1, faced the selected lesson 1 on rhythm, posture, and the basic vocal technique as the sample. Session I replied into my Paris, Italy text translation, phonetic guides, and piano accompaniments to ensure linguistic accessibility. I also reviewed Mackay's bel canto techniques and queer strategies to integrate language and music learning effectively.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Rulin. The question I ask again. Same question, what preparation did you take in creating and delivering your teaching artifact?
I redesigned my music for feelings program for older adolescents, adding models like sound diary and emotional soundscapes. I also prepared bilingual scripts, selected embed audio tracks, and developed visual aids to guide emotional mapping activities. I also ensured my teaching sequence reflected trauma-informed principles and mindful facilitation.
Oh, very good. That's really nice to know how you actually had a wonderful journey in preparing, and that's very good. Important thing as a teacher is actually you learn in your first semester preparation, lesson planning. So well done. Moving on to question 2, we want to look into some impressions when you enter the school. So this is something that when you go back to China, you can share with all your friends or your students even there, and you can actually make what we call cultural comparison. So the question, maybe we once again, Yuche, you can go first. What was your impression when you first entered the school?
I was impressed by the discipline and the music background of the students as members of the guitar orchestra. Then were attentive and music Italy, which made the quick to grasp technical concepts.
Very good, especially you know that when I first asked for the students for you, they have good musical background because they are in the guitar orchestra. But you must remember, Yuche, when you came there, you are teaching them something new. They totally do not know anything about bel canto. Yeah, and you did a very good job. Rulin, what about you? What was your impression when you first entered the school?
I noticed the students were relaxed yet curious. The atmosphere was welcoming and the school environment felt conducive for creative, reflective activities. I also feel the students' willingness to try new approaches despite not having done this type of emotional music integration before.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you were very surprised that the students. In fact, I was very surprised. Maybe I will just add my impression was I really did not know what to expect. Whether maybe the students might be tired. Oh no, I have to do this, but they were so enthusiastic. I think because your presence there, someone very different to you are not much older than them, maybe about 5 years, 6 years older, and of course you're from China, you know, and I think that was something that they were looking forward to. In fact, I have a feedback. The teacher told me that the students actually were nervous. They were nervous. Yeah, and I think y'all did a good job, especially the first 5-10 minutes. I noticed that students started to connect with you. And I think your presence, your teaching presence, and what we call your demeanor was very welcoming. Alright? Yeah, very good. And that's something that you can take back when you go back to China. Teaching is all about warming up and getting used to each other. Okay, let's go on. Maybe this time I'll ask Rulin first, this question. Okay, so the next question, the third question would be, how did the students respond to your teaching? Rulin.
They responded well to the breathing and grounding activities, with some showing visible relaxation. During the sound diary activity, I noticed a range of emotional expressions. Some students hummed softly, others draw vivid soundscapes. Their participation grew as they released. There was no wrong answer.
I think that's very encouraging because it's school best. If they are in a mathematics class, it's either right or wrong, right? But in music, like you showed them that their participation didn't matter whether they give a right or wrong answer, and that's actually very encouraging. Yu Che, once again, over to you. The question is, how did the student respond to your teaching? So bel canto in your case.
They were engaged, especially during the breathing partner exercises and the posture correction. Throughout the phonetic thing practice challenged them, but then enjoyed learning the meaning behind the chrome marble and became more expressive as the session progressed.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I was with your class and Changqing was with Rulin's class. In fact, after the first 5 minutes, the students just started to laugh, and I think how you connected with them, you know, teaching them how to breathe, and even the teacher also took part. So I just would like to add that during Yu Che's class, whereby the responsive was really very good. I mean, I take myself as an observer, alright? Okay, so not so much as a musical advisor because I'm also watching your teaching for the first time. Okay, question 4. Once again, Rulin, I would like to ask you first, how would you rate your teaching of your sample and prepared lesson? So basically you prepared, and when you went to ACSI, it's a sample. That's why I call it sample lesson. This is an example lesson. So how do you rate yourself, your teaching of your sample and prepared lesson?
I'd said about 8.5 out of 10. The activities worked well, but I would like to create more space for voluntary sharing at the end. Some students might need extra encouragement to voice their reflections.
Yeah, I think that is very good that you give yourself an encouraging rating. And I think I can also attest because you have done a whole series of lesson plan, and every session there is actually a reflection, Q&A, question and answer for the student. As I said, this is just a sample 30 minutes, so you cannot put everything. But when you go back to China, or if you ever work in Singapore and you're teaching this program, do create that space, what you mentioned, more space for voluntary sharing. Okay, and I think that would be good. Thank you, Rulin, for that answer to question 4. Yu Che, once on your side, how would you rate your teaching of your sampled lesson and your prepared lesson plan?
I would rate it as effective. For first session, perhaps 8 out of 20. My pacing was good, but I would like to give more time for individual vocal feedback in the future.
Yeah, I think both of you are about the same, 8.5 and 8, and that's your rating. And also, you, in the future, you would like to have more time. So it's very good that you think beyond your teaching, and through this reflection, you know how you can move forward. That's the idea. Once again, why we are having this teacher reflection. Okay, question 5, and I think this is the last question for both of you. Let's have you chair to go first. Alright, the question is, how would you like to take this experience back to the schools in China?
I would adopt the same lesson for Chinese high school vocal classes, but add more Italy pronunciation drills spread over several sessions, and also integrate cultural context discussions to speak interest and deeper interpretation skills.
Okay, looks it's going to be very interesting how you're going to adapt it back, and I hope that in the next future that I personally could come to China and see this happen. That would be a very interesting thing for me as a music educator myself. Rulin, how would you like to take this experience at ACSI back to the schools in China?
I would bring this program into Chinese middle and high schools as a non-assessment based module to support students' well-being. I'd also train teachers on mindful felicitation so they can lead similar sessions with sensitive to students' emotional states.
Okay, well, thank you very much, all of you, Ye Rulin
you.
and Feng Yuxue. Well done on your teaching sampling lesson at ACSI. Thank you.
Thank you.